Good morning. Time to make the tea. Today's tea is chamomile for the stomach issues. I'm hoping that's helpful. I do miss my coffee. Well, today it's only going to be 46 degrees. Yes, the warm spell is over for a while. This whole next week is going to be 30s, 40s, and 50s will be the high. So that's not good, but I'm just so happy that I got all that garden work done. All those boxes moved while the soil was dry in there, because that would have been even worse if the soil was wet and soggy. So I got all that done. I'm so happy. I can't even tell you. So that part is done. Now setting up the deck and the seating areas around the garden, and in another 3 weeks or so I can start my planting. So some of the evenings, some of the nights, it's going to be going down into the mid to upper 30s. Hopefully no freeze, but you never know around here. So I think today is a pajama day. That's what I think. And I think it's well deserved. So I'll be back in a minute once this is done steeping. Okay, tea should be ready. It's been steeping for a while. Looks good. And I'm going to add some gingerbread syrup. Now this bottle was a Gerard's dressing bottle, and I got these pour things on Amazon a long time ago, never utilized them until I figured out that they fit so nicely on these bottles. So these are the bottles that I keep out with my syrups. So just using what I have, reusing, trying to save some money. And I like to make a game out of saving money, so it doesn't feel like such a daunting task, like, oh, I have to do this. So I like to try and make things look nice with repurposed things. I do buy new things too, don't get me wrong, but it really gets me excited when I can repurpose things. I know, I'm a nerd. Okay, let's give this a taste. Cheers. That's very tasty. So I have a lot of different syrups, but usually what I do, especially if I have a large bottle of syrup, I just keep refilling these little bottles, and then the smaller bottles that I can buy, I just put them in there too. So I try to save money, I try to reuse things, make my carbon footprint less, I think we all need to do that, not generate so much garbage. I compost my kitchen waste. Usually by the end of the week I have one kitchen garbage bag, and sometimes it's not even full. So I try to do my part, not to generate too much trash and garbage. And I think a lot of these manufacturers that put their things in glass containers I have one beef with them, and that is the labels. They should consistently make labels that you can get easily off, because sometimes it's a struggle. And another beef I have with them is the tops of the bottles. A lot of them, or jars, whatever it is, they're all different sizes. So I think it would be a great idea if they all used a standard size opening for their bottles, whether that's like a mason jar opening, or like these pour spouts, whatever. But, you know, every manufacturer has a different size bottle or jar. And then they stick those ridiculous stickers on there that you can't get off. So, alright, that's my suggestion to the world of manufacturing. Get on the stick. You know, all these big companies, they're lecturing us on our recycling and all that, which, you know, is a good thing to do, but then they're not on board. They're just, they do what they do. So, anyway, alright, enough of that rant. So like I said, I think today is a pajama kitchen day, because I've got a lot of things to do in the kitchen. I have laundry I need to fold in my laundry room. I have dishwasher that I need to empty. I have my purple dead nettle that I need to dehydrate. And I have things in my refrigerator that I want to cook up for dinner tonight. So that's what this video will focus more on today, rather than garden work, because everything is still wet out there and it's really chilly. So did I mention how glad I am that I got all that dirt moved? Oh, thank you, Lord. The Lord was with me last week. Well, He's always with me, but that was a gift. That whole week of beautiful, beautiful weather was a gift. So, okay, I'm going to go to the budget book. I'm going to enjoy my tea first, and then I'm just going to have a chill day. That's what I'm going to do. Okay, see you in a little bit. All right, it's that time again. Time to look at the budget book. So yesterday I did not spend any money. Yay. Doing pretty well this month, I think. I've been so busy in the garden and using up what I have that I really haven't had a need to go out and spend anything. So my biggest thing, of course, is staying off Amazon. And now, oh, the temptation, Tamu, that website, has reached out to me if I would be interested in doing a video with some of their products. So that was a couple days ago, and I took a peek on the website, and there were some mighty tempting things that were actually useful to me that I could get. So if I decide to go ahead and order some things from them, I hope you'll bear with me. It'll be a fun thing that I can share with you. I'm always sharing things with you that I find are useful. I really should open an Amazon affiliate store, but it's all too much bother. So anyway, and I don't want to turn this into a commercial. Oh, buy this, buy that. Although I have gotten a couple of really nice things that I felt were very worth it to share with you guys. And then you can make up your own decision whether you want to go to that website and purchase it or not. That would be up to you. And actually today I'm going to be using a knife that I was sent, and the timing is really good because I want to clean out my produce drawer and make a soup. So I'm going to try out the knife, and I'll be very honest with you whether I like it or not, because it's not an inexpensive knife. I've always bought knives that were cheap, and I keep my handy dandy knife sharpener handy, so that's what I do. I've never had a knife like this before. So I'm excited to try it out and see if, if it's a good purchase or not. And I'll be very honest with you if I think it is. And if I think it isn't, I'll tell you that too. So anyway, oh, and the knife was provided free to me. So sometimes when you have a YouTube channel, there's always people reaching out saying, oh, would you make a video about this? Would you make a video about that? And I'm very, very picky about who I will have a video with. Because if it's not useful to me, I don't want it. So I have enough junk. Well, it's not necessarily junk, but I have enough stuff that I don't want to fill my house with free things that they send me in order to do a video. But if I feel that it's a worthwhile thing to do, then I will. So anyway, I just wanted to clarify that. So like I said, Tamu reached out to me to see if I would be interested in doing a collab with them. And I'm thinking about it. So let me know your opinion. What do you think about that? Ultimately, I'll decide if I think that's something useful to me or useful to you guys, or if it isn't. All right, well, I've only spent money 3 days this month compared to what I spent the last 3 months. I think that's pretty good. So, okay, I'm going to actually look at my garden book now and dream about what I can plant in a week or two. All right, I'll be back in a little bit. And it's chilly out here this morning. Okay, I just wanted to show you real quick how my little area that I was working so hard on yesterday turned out. This is still looking good. Got some weeds growing back there. And this is how my little area turned out. So that's looking pretty good. I still have to do a little cleanup here. Let's see if my plants, this is all muddy and yucky. Let's see if my plants are doing okay. Oh yes. They like the rain. They're growing nicely. Okay. My wandering Jenny is coming all back up. I dig up some of this and put it in my pots. Along with flowers. So okay, it's cold out here. I'm going to head in. Still have to work on this area here that I'm going to fence off so the dogs don't get in there and trample everything, because that's what they do. Because I have a little clematis growing here, they'll rip that right out. And I see that has lots of growth. And I think I want to put some elephant ears in here. So there we go. They got some nice rainwater yesterday. All the little starts. Okay, I'm going back in. It's cold. Well, this morning I'm dehydrating my purple dead nettle. Going to try and make some tea out of that once it's dehydrated. So just fooling around in my kitchen, and this was planted by nature. Out in my raised bed, it was full of this, and I guess it has a lot of it's a medicinal herb. I can't tell you off the top of my head what it does, but I did read up about it, and it had some good benefits. So it might taste good, it might taste terrible. I don't know, but I'm going to dehydrate it and see. Okay, well, this morning I'm just fooling around in my kitchen, cleaning things up. As you can see, it's a pajama day. I put all these seeds in water. They're yellow tomatoes, and I don't know if you can see that. They've all sprouted, so I need to put those in some dirt. I had just wanted to save the seeds, but I left them in there too long. So anyway, what I'm doing is I'm going to be making a soup. So I cut off some of the dried onions from the green onions over there. But what I'm doing is making little water bottles to keep outside for my little grow bags. And I'm just putting some holes in them. And all I have is a hammer and a small nail. Depends on how big you want the holes. So I'm just doing that this morning. And some of these are easier than others to get through. I find these clear plastic ones are much easier than the other ones. So that's one of the little projects I'm doing today. It's a very slow living day today. I have my candles lit, and I'm just going from one task to the next rather than doing 20 things at once because I have a lot to do. So that's how I'm going to spend the day. I'm dehydrating my purple dead nettle. I'm getting that done, and I want to melt down a candle, and I have to water all my plants. So I have a lot to do, but I'm trying to keep it on the low key. I have a few things that I want to plant, and I'm excited because the little strawberry seeds that I planted a while back are starting to germinate. So they're so teeny tiny though, I hope they make it. I just have them under some plastic in a pot. So we'll see, because I'd like to grow a lot of strawberries this year, and hopefully I'll get to them before the chipmunks do, or the birds. So I imagine I'll have to cover them. Okay, so I think that should be enough. And I already did one here that's a bigger one. And this one I'm going to put up in my indoor garden. So I put a lot of holes in this one. And as you can see, it makes a really nice, gentle raindrop situation for my plants. So those are a couple of the things that I'm doing, and then I want to make a soup to use up produce. And I also want to plant these elephant ears because they're already starting to sprout. So I'll keep these in the house for a while, but they need to get in some dirt before they dry up too much. And I have 4 altogether. So that's another project I want to do today. But I'm trying not to think ahead and go, oh, I got to do this, I got to do this, I got to do this. I'm just trying to live in the moment, knock out one thing at a time, and that's how I'm going to spend my day. All right, I'm going to finish making these. I'm going to put these out in the garden, and that way I'll have water available so my little seedlings don't dry out. And I'll be back in a little bit and we'll make some soup. Okay, so I went foraging in my produce drawer, and this is what I came up with for my soup. Now I have some chili that I defrosted a couple days ago. I do want to eat it. I'm afraid to eat it because of my stomach issues going on, but it's too much to eat all at once. So I wanted some beans in my soup. So I'm going to put half of this in the soup, and then I'm going to mix it with some broth so it'll tame down the heat. Now my chili's never very hot anyway. Let me turn the light on here. That's better. My chili is never very hot, so it'll be fine. I have this wanky celery going on. I'm going to put some of that in. Then I'm going to chop some up for a salad later because I do still have like 2.5 heads of romaine. I have this little bit of cabbage. I have this onion that's starting to sprout. I have this dried onion, dried green onion that I'm going to chop up. And in here I have a little bit of peppers and dried celery that I'm also going to put in there. I have this little tiny bit of rosemary. I'll stick that in there. I have 2 carrots that are starting to dry up a little bit. And I have these two potatoes that are starting to chit, but what I'm doing is I'm going to cut off the chits and I'm going to use the rest of the potato in the soup. So nothing goes to waste. Then I'm going to put all my scraps in here and either feed it to the worms. I have to see how much food they still have, or I'm going to put it in my little I Do. What is it? I Do Garbo, that's what it is. And then I'll make some plant food. So hardly anything goes to waste here. And I'm going to try and root this celery, so I'll cut it off here and stick it in some water. It may be too old to root, it might just rot, but I'm going to try it. I mean, I've done it before and you get like little green shoots in the middle. So we'll see how that goes. So I'm going to cut all this up. I'm going to put it in my slow cooker along with half the chili and probably cook it for about 20-25 minutes and I'll have a delicious soup. All right, I will be back later. I'm also going to melt this candle down because it won't burn anymore, and I'm going to put a wood wick in there instead. So, and I always use, the wood wicks are very thin, so I find it's better if I put 2 in at once. They seem to burn better. So, okay, that's what I'm doing. I still have to water all my indoor plants. And then I'm going to take a break. And that way I'll have dinner done. And it's only 1 o'clock in the afternoon, so I got quite a bit done today. All right, I'll be back when the soup is done. Hey, before I put everything in the pot, I wanted to show you this beautiful knife that this company sent me. And they wanted me to review it for a video. And the company is called, it's a Nakando knife. And it's handmade in Seki, S-E-K-I, Seki, Japan. So these are some of the stats on the knife, and very nicely packaged, and they have all kinds of different knives, so I'll show it to you. Comes in this nice box with a nice beautiful wooden handle, and this is the knife. It has a really nice weight to it. Very, very nice. But the proof is in the cutting. Now they say in here not to put this in the dishwasher. You do have to hand clean it and make sure it's nice and dry. So, okay, let's give this a try. And I'll give you my honest review on it, because I'm used to using cheap knives. I mean, really cheap knives. I'm talking about, you know, $3.99 at Mark's. So, all right, let's start off with the cabbage. Oh yes, very, very nice. Now, I don't think I would be sharpening this with my cheap knife sharpener. So, got a little bit of dark going on in the cabbage. So we'll put that for the compost. And I don't want big chunks of cabbage in my soup. I just want little chunks. Yes, this is very nice. This knife is a very nice knife. So I will leave the website in the description box below. And I do think that they are running a sale right now. They recommend too that you don't use a glass cutting board, that you use like a bamboo cutting board, because you don't want to dull your knife. But it is very, very sharp. Now, I don't know how long it'll remain sharp because I just got it a few days ago, and this is the first time I'm using it. So let's see how it goes through the cabbage. Very nice. Don't want to get your finger in the way of this knife, that's for sure. So all the cabbage is going in the soup. Okay. Now let's see how it does with this celery. I'm just going to cut the bottom off because, like I said, I want to try to grow that. Very easy. And then I'll put that in water and try to regrow it. Maybe I can plant it in the garden. So, okay. I'm going to cut up some of this celery. No problem cutting up the celery, that's for sure. I'm going to save a little bit for my salad. And I'm just putting this all in my little Instant Pot. I'm going to put the greens in. I'm just cleaning out the refrigerator using what I already have. So that'll be all the produce that I've used up now. I don't know when I'll be buying more. I will buy more potatoes, but I'd like to start using up some of my frozen veggies before they get all frostbitten. So I would say this is a very, very nice knife. Like I said, it's a Nikando knife. Yeah, so you can't put it in the dishwasher because you don't want to buy a knife that's this nice and then ruin it by putting it in the dishwasher. But it's easy to clean. Just wipe it off with a rag, dishcloth. And this I think I'm going to cut up for my salad. Alright, let's see how it does with the carrot. Now here I can really tell a difference from a cheap knife. It goes through it very, very quickly. Thick carrot. Oops. Okay, so that is my review of this knife. And if you have the money for it, and you do like a nice sharp knife, I would give this one a thumbs up. So okay, I'm going to do the onion. This onion is almost past its due. Normally I would put the onion peel in the freezer for another soup, but I'm just going to put it in the compost because I need some compost for the garden, and it's already starting to get a little funky on the inside, so that part will just go in the compost pile. But most of the onion is still good, so I will use the parts that are still good. I was thinking about in the garden, I'd like to get a couple of dwarf fruit trees that I could put in pots and see how they grow now that I have sun. I had a dwarf peach tree at one point, but unfortunately it didn't make it. I don't know if it was operator error or if it just didn't like the dirt it was in. You know, plants are funny. They have their own needs. So okay, like I said, if you're interested in this knife at all, I will put the website in the description box and you can take a look and see if you have any interest in purchasing one. But I want to thank the company for sending me this lovely knife. You know, sometimes you get things and it's just not what you thought it would be. But this is very nice, since I've never had a really nice knife before. Okay, I'll be back in a little bit once my soup is done, and hopefully it's good. I forgot. I wanted to show you what to do with the potato. So this has 2 eyes, well 3. You really want 2 eyes, but since they're so close together. So I'm just going to cut a chunk of this potato off. Oh, like so. Then I'm going to let this sort of lay for a couple days until it dries up. And then I'm going to plant it. Now these are russet potatoes. Now this one has quite a few eyes, so I'm going to cut it. I'll just cut it here. Cut it there. And I'll probably cut it there. So this one will have 2 sections. I think that'll be all right. And then I'm just going to cut the rest of this up and stick it in my soup. So I just wanted to share that with you. Then what I'm going to use as my broth is this. It's just veggie broth. It's by Gia Russa. And it's gluten-free, it's vegan, and it's 1 teaspoon to 1 cup of water. So depending on how strong you like it. Oh, and then I forgot this little tiny bit of rosemary that I'm just going to chop up and also stick in the soup just for some extra flavor. All right. So I'm probably, this holds 4 cups. I'm going to put the chili in and probably 2 more cups of broth and get my soup going. Okay, my soup is done. This is my dinner for tonight. I got a bunch of stuff out of my refrigerator. Some chili, some beans, some veggies. So just using up what I have, and some Walmart bread with some cheese. I don't think I've been grocery shopping at all this month. Well, I still don't need to go. So maybe I can go the whole month without grocery shopping. We'll see. But I'm going to eat my dinner, and then I'll be back to wrap things up. Well, I just finished dinner. Soup was delicious. So if you have leftovers, think about turning it into a soup. If you have veggies in your produce drawer or veggies in your freezer, and you have a roast with gravy or chili like I had, or almost anything. You can turn almost anything into a soup. You can stretch your food budget, add some rice, add some pasta, add potatoes. You could use frozen potatoes, canned potatoes, whatever. Just make it into a soup. As long as you have broth, and you don't even have to make homemade broth, but you can, just from saving your scraps. Or you can use bouillon. There's lots of recipes online to make your own soup bouillon. I made one a while back. I don't remember everything that's in it, but I did write down the recipe because it's really tasty. It's just a whole bunch of spices. So I'm finishing up my afternoon tea. And even things like tea. You can forage for wild edibles and make a tea out of it. I haven't tried the nettle tea yet, but I will. I think that's interesting. There's all sorts of things that you can make tea out of too. So really, it doesn't have to cost you an arm and a leg. With the cost of groceries nowadays, it's becoming prohibitive. We have to be smart and stretch our food money as far as possible and not waste anything. So that chili probably, may have gone to waste, but putting it in a soup, it cut the spices and the heat down a little bit. I saved a little tiny bit for tomorrow. I will have some of it, because it was good. I think that was left over from Thanksgiving when I had the family over. And we had chili and they loved it. And it was totally vegetarian. I put TVP in there. It had beans and peppers and onions and tomatoes. So all the things that really go well in a soup. So think about recreating your food and making something different out of something you had. Now, for instance, yesterday I had mushroom and seitan stroganoff, but that would have made a good soup too because it had the stroganoff gravy, and you could add all kinds of things to that to stretch it. Instead of having 2 meals, I could have 4 meals by putting other ingredients in it. You could put it in like a potato soup, or anything that sour cream would be good in. Sour cream and beef. Well, it's not beef, but you get the idea. So turn your leftovers into a soup. And if you don't have fresh veggies or veggies that you want to get rid of, then go for the frozen. Right, buddy? Go for frozen. Frozen is good. Right? Yes. We like to use up our food. They're waiting for their TREAT. And if I can't say it because then this little one will start barking her head off. So, all right, my friends, I had a very relaxing day. I did get a lot done. But it wasn't at a pace where, oh, I gotta get this done, I gotta get that done. Did I get everything done? No. But I'm pretty much done for the day. And that's fine. Tomorrow the weather's going to be probably just as crummy as it was today. It was cold and damp and gloomy. So on days like that, I play catch up. And I'm going to continue to do that. I still have some things that I want to plant, like my elephant ear bulbs and things like that. So always something to do. I'm very rarely bored. The only time I'm bored is if I'm working on something, on a project that actually bores me. It's never that I don't have anything to do. But you know, sometimes you have to work on a project and you think it's totally boring, but that's really the only time I'm bored. So, alright my friends, this video is getting really long, so I want to wish you abundant blessings. I love you guys. Be good to yourself, be good to others. God bless you, and I'll see you next time. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, comment, and like. Thanks for watching.